There have been people who I've interviewed who have had questionable past or are into some wild shit right now. Okay? I'm going to address this right now because there's a lot. Thank you, babe. There's a lot of gun violence that's been going on in the city over the last few days. And let me see if I could pull up some articles quick fast. Okay. Big salute to Dusty Wallace, a.k.a. the Scary Potter. He hit me up there earlier this morning. He's like, yo, got to talk to these people, fam. It's genocide out here. I'm like, no, fam, I know. However, we're in a growing city. I feel that a lot of people have been trying to take the blame and place it on some of the things that happened over the last few weeks, as far as the whole Drake reaching out and trying to make peace in the city, the whole conversation that started behind that. Let's see what it says here, or maybe there's a video we can watch right after this ad. And this is from City News. It says Toronto shooting incidents up 140% over last year, and we're in February. Okay, so when they say over last year, they mean like
community continues to reel from the random bus stop shootings over the weekend. Some community leaders are raising the alarm bells over a recent spike in gun violence.
There seems to be a spike. There is variances that shootings do go through.
This year is off to an alarming start with 60 shootings in less than 2 months. 18 people have been hit by bullets. 2 did not survive. According to the most recent crime data, gun violence across Toronto is up by a staggering 140% over the same time last year. Police say the latest shooting victims here at Jane and Driftwood were completely and utterly innocent. A 39-year-old father of 4 was killed and a 16-year-old boy was left with life-altering injuries. As the search continues for this suspect, investigators say the attacks were random and had the hallmarks of gang activity. Today, the police chief took a walk through the neighborhood. He did not speak to media. Instead, he was chatting with kids and listening to concerns from residents.
Having the police show their support and sincerely show that they care really makes a difference.
Reverend Sky Starr works with people whose lives have been impacted by gun violence, and she says anytime there's a spike in shootings, it's very distressing for the communities.
We did the walkabout over there, and one mother who lost her child, I think 8 years ago, she was crying because it was affecting her. It lingers. It doesn't just go away. As a therapist, I can tell it doesn't just go away right away. So it stays with you. The pain is fresh. Everything comes back, even if it's happening to somebody else.
We love this comes after last year ended with the lowest number of shootings in half a decade, and with neighborhoods notorious for gun violence like Jane and Finch hitting a 10-year.
It said last year had the lowest amount of shootings in a number of decades. Pull that back.
Hitting a 10-year low.
Which is
shootings in half a decade, and with neighborhoods.
Even if it's happening to somebody else.
And this comes after last year ended with the lowest number of.
So, if you look at the statistics over here from 2019 that had 492 shootings, in comparison to 2023 that just passed that had 344 shootings, shootings are down. Okay.
Shootings in half a decade, and with neighborhoods notorious for gun violence like Jane and Finch hitting a 10-year low.
Which is a sign that we're doing things right. We're getting to the
Jane and Finch hitting a 10-year low.
Problem itself and coming up with solutions. But we cannot take a break. We have to continue working together with policing, government, and community.
Louis March is the founder of the Zero Gun Violence Movement and is hoping the latest spike
Mr. Jane and Finch.
is just a blip.
We cannot afford to have double the amount of shootings compared to last year. And also the thing with shootings is that there's concerns for retaliation. If it's gang related, there's going to be retaliation.
As you can see, a command post is still set up behind me here at the Driftwood Community Center. This is one way police are trying to build trust with people in this neighborhood. And while not everyone supports the heightened police presence, some do say it brings them a sense of safety as the search continues for the killer. In North York, Shauna Hunt, City News.
So let me ask y'all a question, because this is over the last few weeks, or not even last few weeks, excuse me, over the last few days. We are Wednesday right now, February 21st. It says, and RIP to A.W.O.L, a 39-year-old man was shot 3 times while walking near a bus stop at Jane Street and Driftwood. The day before, a 16-year-old boy was shot in the face near the same intersection and it remains in critical conditions. Both were innocent bystanders. According to Toronto Police, 100%. Okay, we read that, or we already heard that part. So, I've been seeing some commentary and just the buzz going around. People saying that this whole Drake reaching out on the blogs and, you know, asking for peace has caused more war. I call cap on that. I think there's a lot of people who are just afraid to take accountability for what is actually already going on, including the government and the powers that be, for the underlying issue. Okay? They're saying here in the quote unquote, you know, the news that the statistics are on a downward spiral. But with this, now this year, we're heading on an upward trajectory. However, when it comes to this whole, oh, you know, Drake should, you know, he is because he offered to do a verse for people and stuff like that. Or the blogs, you know, it's because you guys post so much drama and all that. I call cap on that, fam. There's been a lot of issues that have been going around in that hood, and I'm not gonna, don't get me wrong, we're not gonna act like, you know, some of these different issues go on with some of the rappers, or not even the rappers, but there's rappers who represent the different areas of where there's issues going on. Let me make sure that I phrase that properly, okay? Because we're talking about street shit, and I know Friday has to stay on the goddamn sidewalk. However, when we take the hip-hop industry and we try to correlate that with what's going on outside in the streets, I have a problem with that. I feel like a lot of that drama has been going on for years before that there was an Instagram that people can go on and chirp on. And like I was talking about before, the level of people jumping on the gram and going crazy and doing Instagram lives, with all due respect, since Top 5's been gone, that's kind of slowed down. You haven't seen as much people online going crazy. Nobody has an Instagram live that's popping enough that enough people will tune in and it becomes a thing. Like maybe guys like Icy Springer has a bunch of guys that are on his Instagram live. I don't think Icy Springer is making the gun violence go up in the city from the amount of people who are talking about who's effing who on his Instagram live. I'm sorry, I'm just not buying it. Okay? I also don't think that a Six Sounds post or a Canadian Underground Kings or even a Kento Too Neat post is what's, you know, equating to the gun violence going up in the city. There's just a lot of violence going on in the city when there is, and when there isn't, it slows down. Okay? It goes back to what I was saying before when DJ Czar was asking me about gentrification and if that can slow down things or if that would stop gun violence. If there was no hoods, there'd be less violence. I'm not going to say there would be no violence, because people are going to have conflict no matter what. Okay? But with hoods, with, you know, ghettos bring poverty. When there's poverty, there's people out there doing whatever they need to do to get money. When you're in that kind of lifestyle and, you know, you're doing whatever you need to do to get money, some of the protection that comes with that is guns. Okay? So now if you're involved in that lifestyle because that was the first choice out of the different, out of the lack of choices that you had in front of you, now you're in the game and things happen. Okay? You didn't become, a rapper and now all of a sudden you're out there busting your gun. Okay? You're busting your gun because you're out there doing things that are not above the law, but against the law. Okay? It's not like mans are out there in the forest hunting with legal guns and shit. We're talking about niggas who are doing criminal activity. So it's easy to point the finger at rap, point the finger at the blogs, and say, "Oh, well, if you guys were posting all that negativity, then there wouldn't be so much gun violence in the city." If that's the case, when we take a look at these statistics over here that are behind my head, pause, and you see 2019, 492 shootings, and in 2023, 344 shootings, and the blogs were growing their following all through these years. All the blogs and the podcast and all these different people that y'all want to point the finger and point the blame at. All these years, while their followers are going up. 30 less people were busting their gun a year later. Okay? And we could backtrack to even when a lot of these blogs started. Because a lot of these blogs started in the pandemic. Okay? 2021, everybody's back outside, but, well, kind of back outside, almost back outside, but about to be. And there's still less people getting shot out here. 2022, even less. So what are we talking about here? You see what the issue is? A lot of people, when it comes to this whole hip hop game and the thug side of it or the gangster side of it, they're only looking at the world through that bubble and thinking everyone is talking about this. Everybody's, oh my God, the whole world is going crazy. The whole city is on fire. No, it's not. A few blocks have their issues. And in the whole grand scheme of things, like I've said in many different times, niggas on the other side of town who don't live that lifestyle don't know what's going on. They might peep it, on CP24, oh my God, a few people got, that's crazy. Go to Chicago and talk that type shit. Let's go through some statistics of how many people got shot in Chicago or how many people were busting their gun over the last set of years the same time. Okay? And Chicago has less people than us. Keep that in mind. Okay? Let's do a quick experiment. Chicago gun statistics. And we'll do 2019 to 2024. Let's see what we could find. Let's see what we could find. So, in 2022, every 1,000 Chicagoans became a victim of gun violence. Hold on. There's some AI shit that's popping up on me right now. So from 2019 to 2022, the gun violence situation in Chicago. Can y'all see this on the screen? Okay. Thank y'all. Has seen a significant change. Let's delve into the data. Victims of gun violence in 2022, 1 in every 1,000 Chicagoans became a victim of gun violence citywide. In the city, the district number of 1 in 10,000. The average, 39 victims of gun violence in 2022. Let me see some better stats than this. Give me a second, gang. We find something better than this. Let's see a chart. Let's go through a quick chart. Digging into the crates today. Jesus Christ. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so year-to-date homicides have decreased 12% and the shootings are down 14%. Still much work ahead. Let's see some numbers here. Let's do this. Number of shootings in Chicago 2023. Let's see what we find here. And this is from November 27th of 2023. Chicago Tribune. Chicago homicides in 2023. 568 people slain. Get all these ads out of the way. Get this out of the way. Hold on. Ads are going crazy. Jesus Christ. Yeah, here we go. 568 people slain in 1 year. Okay? And we're talking about the population, and let's see. We'll get a quick search of the Chicago population. 2023. 2.6 million. Okay. 8.9 million. I guess that's the greater Chicago area. Right, Chicago got, yeah, right here, 2,665,039 people in 2022. Okay, so for their 2 million, they have 568 people who got murked. Not shootings, who got murked. In comparison to our 492 that the gun was just let off. These are not people who got murked. This is the amount of time that people bust their gun. Okay? So let's put things into perspective before we go too crazy. I'm not saying that, you know, we don't have to bring down gun violence in the city, because that should always be a work in progress. But besides just bringing down the gun violence, we have to do more so that we can create more resources, create an equal playing field for all those people who live in Driftwood. Okay? I'm sure if the man them and all the people who get into that lifestyle, there'll be way less people who are attracted to that lifestyle if they can get a job that can pay them well, if they can get into some type of program that could deviate their mind from being onto that gangster shit. Okay? There's a lot more that they can be doing to solve the problem from the root before saying, oh, we got to lock up a bunch of niggas out here on the street because they're busting their gun. Okay? My mom used to say, you know, rest her soul, precaution is better than cure. Okay? So if you guys can get to the root of the problem in the first place, and these niggas ain't out here with, you know, non-running water and all types of stuff that I've heard about the Jane and Finch area, you'll have less angry niggas, less niggas busting their gun, less people having to go to the life of crime. Okay? I'm not going to say that none of these people or none of the people who are involved in the lifestyle don't have to take accountability for some of their own actions. Don't get me wrong. However, you're going to have less niggas who are going to want to get into the street if there's more opportunities. Okay? Less hoods, more neighborhoods. That's going to be my slogan for 2024. All right? And I'm not running for mayor, so y'all just chill. Less hoods, more neighborhoods. Okay? If I see any of y'all politicians use my line, I'm coming for my royalties. Stop playing. I'm not even going to say it again because, you know, Chris Guy and all these guys be sneaking around. You know what I'm saying? Let's move on.
We love hip hop.